Jean-Paul Wolverine steals bread and doesn't go to jail this time. And later he gathers together talented, good-hearted weirdos to star in his circus. And it is not the X-Men.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 146.
I remember there was a time when you were like, one. And now I'm like, 146. Where are we?
Yeah, it was...
That was my favorite time when you were like, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3.
1, 4, 6.
oh my.
Rah, rah.
So I just, before we get started, in light of what I'm going to talk about, I just hung out with one of my mom friends, and she listened to one of our episodes for the first time.
Okay.
Oh,
And
which one?
I think it was the Soul one.
Okay.
And she was like, I was listening, and I was excited to hear about Soul, and then you guys were like talking like about stuff other than Soul, and I had to keep pressing the 15-second button until you actually started talking about the movie. She goes, you guys were just going on a rant. And I was like, well...
Yeah, we do that.
well, we've been friends for a long time, and we have, like, a listenership that actually likes our random stuff.
That's
true.
And she's like, so people, like, just listen to you talk about whatever? And I'm like, surprisingly, yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they do.
It's a
She
podcast.
was like, wow, that's weird. I guess I'm not into podcasts enough. I was like, well,
But I know how she feels a little bit because Andre listens to a lot of podcasts. And if we're on a car trip, like when we're going to Vegas, he'll put one on. And I'm like, what's the show about? And you're like, oh, they put in their embarrassing stories or whatever. They call a hotline and they say their embarrassing things and then they talk about them. But then they'll talk about other stuff where I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
They definitely talk about their lives.
Yeah, because that's how we know our listeners love us.
right. I
That's
guess you
right.
guys got to know us and know our style to be cool with
Yeah,
it.
so if this is your first episode, hi, hello.
But I think we have a new listener and he seems to like us.
Is it the Disney Dad?
Yeah, Disney Dad.
Hey, Disney Dad.
Why did we say it like that? Disney Dad. Oh, na-na-na-na-na-na, Disney Dad. Do you remember that? I used to do
Of
that.
course we remember. I sang it with you.
Disney Dad.
Real talk, I didn't even know we started recording. I thought it was just still a conversation from before.
Well, we just proved our point, didn't we?
Embarrassing.
That's very embarrassing.
So yeah, shout out to Disney Dad. We've been singing about you long before you ever joined the podcast.
Yeah,
bro.
we love Disney Dads.
You didn't know, but we,
Mufasa's a Disney
Yeah, you
Dad.
were sexy Disney Dad. Disney Dad.
A lot of people's Disney Dads, man.
Who else? You said
Mufasa's a
Mufasa.
Disney Dad.
Oh, not Patrick Swayze. What's his name?
Patrick Swayze.
Dennis Quaid.
Oh.
He's a Disney Dad.
Daddy Quaid.
Daddy Quaid.
That guy from Lilo and Stitch is a Disney Dad.
Shut up. he's not
From
a
Lilo and
Disney
Stitch.
dad.
He's not a dad,
The
but
security dude? Bubbles? Or the boyfriend?
yeah, the boyfriend.
The boyfriend is a Disney dad?
Heck
He's like
yeah.
19 years old.
Let's not ignore
guy
the
from
fact
Mulan's
that
a Disney dad.
You're giving those that title too easily.
Yeah, you're giving
If they
real
don't have
loose.
a child, they're not a dad.
Lilo is a child,
Is
No.
that
his child?
child?
basically.
No.
No.
We're continuing. What are we talking about this week?
And no offense.
Unless he came
Andre's
from
not
what's his
a dad
name,
either.
Zach,
You can say
it is not his
he's
child.
your child. He's not.
Okay, unless
Did
they
you
come.
just say-
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
What'd he say?
I got it. Don't worry
I
about
said,
it. They didn't hear it.
Unless he comes from his sack, it
Oh.
is not his child.
Good God.
Okay.
Speaking of children,
I cannot right now.
this week we are talking about the 2017 20th Century Fox film, The Greatest Showman.
Yes, our listeners, you have voted. This was actually an intense vote. I was looking at the Instagram
Surprisingly,
every
yeah.
day, and it was only by 4 votes that this one won out.
It was close.
It
a
was
battle
very close.
between The Greatest Showman and The Sound of Music.
Yes.
And this one obviously won.
Kind of happy it won because it's shorter, but you know.
Indeed, this was a quite a
Significantly
It
short.
was only like an hour and 45 minutes, and I was like,
This
great.
was over, and I was like, wow.
Right.
It was,
a very
succinct for a musical. Musicals are usually long.
it's a
For
very
sure.
evenly paced
Yeah.
movie, which I was
Yeah, evenly paced,
happy about.
and it stars. Andre and I have been talking about Hugh Jackman for a while.
Now hang on. take my name out your mouth because you talk about Hugh Jackman a lot differently than I talk about Hugh Jackman. Continue.
What do you
Take my name out.
First
your
of all,
mouth.
point number 1, Hugh Jackman is sexy. Point number 2, Hugh Jackman is Hugh Jackman, and he is probably my favorite
that's
actor.
not a point.
But I mean, I know Andre was like, well, if you like Hugh Jackman so much, let's watch all the X-Men movies. And I was like, fine. And I did it, and I saw him as Wolverine, but that's not how I picture Hugh Jackman. I like Hugh Jackman for every single musical movie he's in.
So, like...
Oklahoma, Les Mis, this one. Just anything he sings in. Mm-hmm. And it's great. You know?
now he's Snow White?
No, that was my reaction.
Oh, I'm really confused.
The point is that this movie stars Hugh Jackman, and that is why
That's the point?
That's why I like it. Also, it's a good movie, but this is my first impression.
That's your first impression?
This is a great musical. I really like it because it has Hugh Jackman in it, and I love Hugh Jackman's voice. And also,
I should set up a Hugh Jackman counter.
I remember
specifically for Michelle.
I remember us watching this trailer in the theater, babe, back in the day when we used to go to movies a lot. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, that's stupid. Like, it's about a circus. And I was like, I don't want to see this. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And then we ended up watching it, and it was super great. And I still like it. It still holds up pretty well. And it has good music. So that's my first impression. Emily, you're dying to talk, so you go next. She had this look on
Michelle,
my face like I'm insane.
You have been talking nonstop for the past 3.5 minutes. It's not like we were
it's been a long week,
breath.
okay?
We're just waiting for you to take a single breath. That's all.
Hugh Jackman.
Anyway, Emily,
We heard you
what
with
is
Hugh Jackman.
your first impression?
So I think I stated this before. I've never seen this movie, nor has Luis, obviously.
Right,
If I haven't seen it, he hasn't seen it. And
Yeah.
so we didn't really have expectations. I don't think... Did you have expectations coming into this?
I wasn't even sure it was the musical.
Jesus.
Weren't sure what it was about, probably.
So
yeah.
for me, in my mind, I was picturing it as Moulin Rouge because
Okay.
that's
okay.
very similar in like its own musical
Right.
with stars,
Love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
with dancing and singing, and like a completely new storyline,
Yeah.
but with some basis in not so much that one was in history, but like it was in France with I don't know.
It's a period piece.
Yeah, it's a period piece.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was like reacting it back to that, and there was a couple scenes that were reminiscent for me, which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember seeing the commercial and being opposite of you, like, "Oh hell yes!" Like I will be watching that.
Oh, that's so
And-
interesting because I was like, this looks dumb.
Oh no, I was really into it when I saw the commercial. And then just didn't watch it. And I have no idea why. Luis and I multiple times were like, let's watch it. Let's sit down and watch it. But then there's always something else that's
Yeah.
stupidly on the tails
Yeah.
of watching.
Yeah, that's
We
the
gotta
issue
stop
with TV, man.
making all this stuff for us to watch.
Jeez. So anywho,
But you did it. You watched it.
I watched it. And my first impression is it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Qualms. But, I mean, it is.
I had more qualms the first time I watched it, and I think this time I could kind of like, you know how you watch something the first time, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Especially musicals, because there's
For
always
sure.
something in a musical that's weird or odd or off,
Yeah.
you know?
I will say that I'm sure Luis will say something. He already said it in the freaking intro. But
Oh, about
Whoa. Lead me.
lead me.
Yeah, lead him into his first impression.
The entire movie. What were you relating him to?
Jean Valjean?
Yes, the entire time. He's like, oh, you want to steal some bread? Oh, this time he stole bread. He didn't get put in prison. Great.
It's really hard not to be like Jean Valjean, and I still like him better as Jean Valjean. There's one song specifically where he's singing it. Oh, the from now on. He does like the Jean Valjean, like the where I was like, what?
vibrato?
Are we watching Les Mis?
Which is funny because Luis hates male vibrato, and he didn't know to say that, but he was like, oh, when they do that, I don't like it.
That's a Jean Valjean thing.
For
No,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah, no. Luis was like grossed out by it. He physically like repulsed, like back away from the TV.
That's hilarious. I wish I was there.
It was very
Well,
funny.
Luis, how did you feel about this movie? What's your first impression?
I liked it a lot. I was sold within like 5 minutes, huh?
Yeah.
I was sold.
Yeah.
And we knew that we were going to watch it like in 2 evenings.
Okay.
And he kept looking at the clock like, oh, we could watch another 5 minutes. Oh, we could watch another.
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
kept
that's
like
good.
turning his head. He was really into it.
Wow.
But both of us, I think, thought that there was going to be more tragedy. Like we were waiting for like...
Waiting
'cause
for a big something to happen.
I mean, musicals usually have this like boom, and then
the
like,
chandelier fell.
for
no.
show. Like the end of the second
That's
act
Phantom of
is
the
like ridiculous, and then the third is like okay. And I guess the burning down was like but it wasn't.
I thought it was more
the
when he got caught cheating. I was like, sucks to suck,
He
dude.
didn't
cheat.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
All the
it
men
that way.
come out like,
He ain't cheat.
But you know what, Luis? 85 times was like, if he cheats on her, I'm gonna stop watching this movie.
Oh, dude,
if
I
he
was ready
cheats
to
on her,
stop.
I'm gonna stop. And I was
Jean
like,
Valjean ain't no cheater.
I was ready to stop when he was like, his girls were chasing after him. I'm like, dude.
Right, and he just left.
Yeah,
What
we'll
is
get into
your
that.
problem?
There
From
was
the
a
mansion.
moment where I was like, I don't like you, Phineas, right now.
oh, for sure.
Phineas and Ferb, get out of here.
Luis said that too. Are there any other first impressions? I know I kind of led you into your first impression. I'm sorry.
Might be one of my favorite musicals.
Oh,
there.
snap.
Very good.
Wow.
Andre?
Big
How'd
words for Lou.
You guys be surprised.
More than Les Mis?
There's actually a list. So.
Oh, you got a whole list like it's written out?
No.
Oh, okay.
Who writes out
Just the
list?
musicals
I don't-
Emily has made him watch.
Who writes out list is what he just said.
I
No,
do.
no, who
I
wri-
make a
Isn't
lot
that
of lists.
legitimately
BuzzFeed.com and
Like legitimately, who writes out their list of their
every
favorite
other
movies?
motherfucker.
Andre probably has a list of his favorite movies.
No. Like you write it down on paper and then put it away in your safe or underneath your sock.
No, he
like,
got
who
it
does
in his
that?
head,
My
though.
notes app. Yes, there are lists.
it's in here.
It's in his head,
That's what I
and I
do,
know a
yeah.
list of Andre's favorite movies. I
It's in
can
my
name
noggin.
them.
I
What's your
just don't have a physical paper copy of it that's notarized.
Hey, nobody said that.
Okay,
Nobody's
it's got a
said
stamp on it.
You don't want to see the notes section of Andre's phone, okay? There's a lot of lists,
I
probably.
got a lot of lists.
Well,
in there
yeah.
too.
What is your first impression, my husband?
First impression of this movie. I also remember us seeing the trailers for this back in the day. I wasn't super excited for it, but I did think it had an interesting cast because we got
Jackman.
we got Hugh Jackman, of course, the homie Efron, Zendaya. And,
It was an interesting cast.
Right, a lot of interesting people in there.
Can I pause you?
Yes.
I had zero idea that Zendaya was in this.
You didn't know?
Before watching it.
That was my biggest qualm, is that she was kissing Zac Efron, and they're from different Disney generations, and it was kind of blowing my mind. I was like, I don't
even
understand
know
what's
what you're
happening.
It's your
about.
biggest qualm.
You don't know who Zendaya? She was on Disney
That's a
Channel
qualm.
like years. She had a show on Disney Channel, and I only know because my little sister watched it.
Right.
But like Zac Efron had grown up and had started doing those movies, and there's like a 7-year age gap. So I think in this movie she was like 18,
Yeah.
and Zac was like a lot older than her.
Yeah.
Where I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, he was like a purveyor at that point.
She's so tall compared to him.
Man, yeah.
they're
She's
pretty-
so tall compared to a lot of the dudes she stars in.
Right. I think she's
Yeah.
just
Stars
tall.
with.
Anywho, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I just didn't know she was in this, so that Luis kept saying, "Oh my god." He was not saying anything weird. I just was not making the connection. He's like, the African American girl from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so
I
in
never
my
said
brain,
that. I said Mary Jane.
Right.
no,
Spider-Man.
you didn't
Yeah,
say
Mary
Mary Jane because
It's
in my
hella-
head
I
I'm
hella
thinking of like the main girl, like his wannabe girlfriend.
That
Right.
is
Yeah, that is-
who it is.
Yeah.
No, the other girl.
Oh, in the first movie.
In the first movie.
Right.
So I'm
Oh.
like, no, that's not her. And then I saw her face full on and was like, oh, you mean Mary Jane?
Right.
No, I said Mary Jane specifically
Yeah.
2 times. I remember.
Andre kept being
MJ.
like, and Zac Efron kind of looks like Tom Holland. It's kind of weird.
It's weird that they're like playing her against type, kind of like you've seen her date
He does
short
not,
white guys before, and
he
now
does
get ready
not
for this
look
pair.
like him. I'm gonna need you to back up. One looks like a daddy. The other one looks
They're
like a baby.
both 5'4" white dudes with abs and brown hair. They look
Yeah.
exactly the same.
They're the same. Yeah, they look very similar, Emily.
They do not.
They definitely do. Look at a young picture of Zac Efron. And
I'm not
compare-
looking at a young picture. I'm looking at a
Oh.
grown-up daddy. Okay?
I'm looking
I
at
know, which is
two
why it was
dudes
weird that she was kissing him.
from 50 yards away, and I can't tell the difference between either of these. Okay?
They got the hair swoops. They got the same.
They're
I
swoop
like the
same.
swoop.
The same
Okay.
swoop.
Yeah.
Anyway, first
Same
impression.
So sorry, honey. Go ahead.
I liked this movie the first time we watched it, and upon this viewing, I wasn't having as much fun as the
Really?
first time. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I think because the first time we had watched it, I like realized over the course of the movie that it's about P.T. Barnum and stuff like that. And so after I watched it for the first time in theaters, I went back and I like looked up P.T. Barnum a little bit, and he's kind of a huge scumbag from the 1800s or whatever. So I think. And I had forgotten a large portion of this movie's plot. So like going into this, I was expecting like more scumbaggery out of him, and then he's kind of just like, "Yep, I'm a good guy the whole time."
Kind of Disney-fied it a little bit.
Michelle Williams, my wife. You can kick rocks or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. The story just didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go. But that's not to say that I liked all of the music, and the music was like surprising to me too.
It's
like,
good. I like it.
It is good, and apparently the dudes who wrote a majority of the songs are like super fresh to Hollywood or whatever. And then they did this, and then immediately did like La La Land, and now they're huge names or whatever. But this was like their first big movie.
That's when I want to watch La La Land.
Yeah,
it's very good.
That
too.
one's good too.
You would like it.
And I don't know. I just I was surprised by how poppy all of the songs were. It felt very modern to me. As opposed to,
I mean, it's definitely it's definitely a modern musical. So I think before we get into this, since you're saying you know a lot about Mr. P.T. Barnum, why don't you tell us a little bit about him, and we'll see.
Let's see here.
P.T. Flea.
So Mr. Barnum. So apparently, they completely fictionalized this movie, obviously, but even more so than I had thought. Like he didn't start the circus until he was in his 60s. Right. So and he married his wife, and then when she died in like 1873 or something like that. So they were married for like a good 50 years. And then the year after she died, he married like a girl, a friend's daughter who was like 40 years younger than him. So that's cool. And he let's see. Apparently he's like a huge philanthropist.
I wish everyone could see my face right
and
yeah, we kind of both went.
He's credited with coining the term "there's a sucker born every minute." So he's just trying to squeeze money out of everybody, basically.
Which he kind of was on this.
Well, not did I say philanthropist? I meant entrepreneur.
Oh, okay, because I was like, that ain't no philanthropist.
I was like, I don't think they steal money.
That's an issue, Andre.
And apparently he was like a marketing guru in the 1800s, because he was the one who had the idea of taking his circus on a train and then putting up those super big, fancy, colorful flyers all over town, which I thought they did really well in the movie. It was cool that each circus performer got their own like big poster, which is cool. Let's see what else. Also, apparently he was like a politician and stuff too. He was the mayor of Bridgeport, Connecticut for a term, and then he was also a member of the Connecticut House of Representatives for 3 years.
All right, Mr. P.T. Flea.
Yeah, so he was doing a whole bunch of stuff.
I will say I was waiting the entire movie for them to get on the train and go.
Yeah, and they never did. I know.
For the train. Yeah, and I was expecting that to be the last scene. Was
when they were like, "Oh, we can get this place," and I was like, "Place by the docks? Don't you mean you're gonna get a train?"
Yeah, I thought they were gonna like get their butts in a train, and then we could see that last scene, but like at their first venue off the train.
Chugga choo choo, let's go.
I was expecting them to get on the circuit. What do you call it? The
Casey Jr.'s coming down the track. Yeah.
No.
Well, it's a good thing they cast Hugh Jackman, because I don't know. There's something he's very charismatic, but I actually do really like his voice, and I like the way that he acts in musicals. Like, he's a strong actor, number one. He has a good voice. He has a good stage presence, and there's a lot of dancing and things like that, which also does Zac Efron, but I try to think about, like, he was in High School Musical. He has kind of...
I've literally never seen High School. I mean, we've talked
about
this.
Have you seen Hairspray, though?
Yeah.
It's similar to that.
Yeah, he was like a young daddy in that one. He was like 17.
He was
He
was way younger in that. But I think
was it Link Larkin?
Link Larkin.
I don't think his last name was Larkin though, but it was Link.
Oh, I don't remember.
Link. Yeah, it's Link. I saw that movie a lot growing up. But I had a crush. I think he brought another layer to it. Like, yes, the cast was good, but I think that Hugh Jackman was like carrying it.
Right.
So
was that person real? Carlisle? Was that a real person in the?
I don't believe. So wait, it was Zach. That's Zac Efron's character, right? I don't think so. You know, his circus partner was Bailey.
Right. That's what Luis and I were waiting for. Bailey
Yeah,
too.
there was no Barnum and Bailey.
Yeah, I was confused by that because like
they definitely just made it a new
I thought
twist.
Carlisle was going to end up being called Bailey or something.
right.
Like when he gave him the hat.
I had missed Zac Efron's name for like the first like 45 minutes of the movie. So I
really?
just kept calling him Zac Efron in my notes, and I didn't know his character's name, but I was assuming that it was Bailey, and so I was kind of writing that in every once in a while too. And then I heard Carlisle at one point. It was like Philip or whatever, and I'm like, oh, is that not the guy? But he worked with James Bailey. P.T. Barnum did in some of these later years to help create the circus and have their star attraction was an elephant named Jumbo, which is very interesting. They named it the Barnum and Bailey Circus after a couple of years, but he had
They should have just named him Bailey.
I don't
Like,
know
that's
why.
confusing.
I don't know why it wasn't him.
Yeah.
I was a little confused by that, but I don't know.
Anyways, the way that this movie starts out is he's a kid, right?
Well,
That's not how it starts out, and it's confusing.
Before that,
they almost didn't need that.
We
little
see
tiny scene
the
at
full
the beginning.
circus. It's Hugh Jackman. He's leading the thing. Yeah, they're singing the hit song.
Greatest Show.
That one.
That's how it goes.
Is that how it goes?
And then after
Damn.
that dance sequence is over, then it cuts to him as a child.
So it was very confusing for me, first time viewer, because he's like, it starts with him like backlit. He's like dancing, singing, whatever behind the bleachers. And then he like runs out into like the arena and he's singing and everyone's out there with him. And then like everyone goes away and he's by himself. And then he's just standing there. He turns around and looks and you hear someone laughing. And so in my mind and Luis's mind was like, oh, at the end, he's just going to lose everything. And everyone's just going to laugh at him.
He's going to be alone.
Like it was like foreshadowing to me a completely different ending.
Right.
So the whole time we're expecting something to
fall.
Like to ruin his whole life.
Right.
And
I thought that they were trying to set it up like where it's him and they fade into him and he starts singing quieter and then it goes to his childhood. I thought they were trying to be like, okay, he made it, and now he's going to tell you his story about like what happened.
And that's probably exactly what they meant. It's just as like a first time watching it, I was like, and then I got it like once I went back and thought about it. But just in the midst of watching it, I was like, oh,
yeah,
like, okay, so we're going back. I get it, but I was always expecting it to end back up there.
Yeah.
Where he lost everything.
Where
I don't know.
But I like
no go for the circus.
I like all these scenes where they're kids actually a lot. I think it's pretty cute.
Yeah, so he's a kid. He's dirt poor. He has nothing. He's working for a guy who works for rich people. What are they doing? Are they?
I thought that was
That's his dad.
Is it his
he's
dad?
an apprentice to his dad. They're tailors.
Yeah, I definitely.
And they
thought
like
that was
went
his
to
dad.
this rich person's house that he's a tailor for, and there's a girl there, a daughter that's like his age, and he kind of has a crush on her.
I don't know why, because the dad never comes back at any point.
No, he dies.
He died in that song, babe.
Okay, so
It was a long song, but yes, he died.
Yeah, it's a big opening.
in my brain, it was like he's an orphan and he's working for this guy. And
No, he became an orphan after that dad died.
Gotcha. Okay. So anyway, he's in there.
Dude, okay, so he kind of flirts with the daughter or whatever.
He
and
makes her
then
laugh.
the daughter's
How
dad did
dare
not like
you,
that
laugher.
and smacks him. And then
Stay away from my daughter.
it was really sad. But they're like friends and they like go by the beach and like talk to each other, whatever.
Yeah.
But she gets sent off to finishing school. And so then he starts singing. I can't remember the name of the song.
The second song.
I need to think
But
of it.
before she leaves, they go and they like break into that house, right?
Yeah.
The
Oh.
abandoned house. I think
Yeah.
that happens before she leaves, so
Yeah.
that they have something to like remember.
She just says, "Oh, I'm gonna go to finishing school," and so then they like do this. They go break into the house with the carnival puppets, and what's the
song's
song?
called "A Million Dreams," I believe.
Million dreams for the world we're gonna make. I was like, how does it go? I can't think. It wasn't my favorite of the songs, but I thought like the scene was cute.
Yeah.
Every night okay, I get it now.
Right. Yeah. So it's a montage of them growing up. They're writing letters to each other. They
it's
haven't
pretty cute.
seen
I
It's
just
each
cute.
don't
other
like
for a
kids
while.
singing. I always have an issue. With
I just
kids
always
singers.
yeah, me too. I just try to ignore it.
Yeah.
I literally
Especially in the beginning, like where it's low and the boy's voice isn't low enough.
Yeah.
to like have a straw. I was like, oh my god, just bring it up. Like just bring it up.
Just
like
age him up by 4 years.
Good. That's why I
not
didn't
him,
really like
but like
the song.
just it doesn't need to be that low. Like
Yeah.
bring it up a freaking.
The
couple
song was
notes.
fine, but because kids were singing it, I just kind of forget it, you know. But they grow up, and he's an orphan, and it's actually like really sad. And I think something important when he was an orphan, when he's trying to steal food and things like that, that someone with a physical disability gives him an apple, and I think that was his first like curiosities or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's what they were trying to foreshadow.
He's also very
there.
creative, and
He's like Aladdin.
He's very much like Aladdin. I wrote that in my notes. He's got a whole bunch of Aladdin vibes going on.
He joined the railroad, grew up, got some money, then went back and got his girl. I was like, you get it, dude. Nice job.
Yeah. So
and she's from a rich upbringing. What's her name?
Charity.
But she doesn't seem to mind being with someone poor.
No, she's totally into him.
If Hugh Jackman was coming up on my step, I wouldn't
Hell
either.
yeah.
Like, hello.
I'd be like, oh, you grew up. Hello there.
Also, they like de-aged him for a hot sec there when he's like rolling up to her house to pick her up for the first time, and his face is very smooth. I'm like, wow.
I don't know if I noticed that.
This isn't my favorite effect in the world.
I didn't notice. I was just like, oh.
She's like, hello, Hugh Jackman.
And then
Hugh Jackie.
the dad,
Yeah, that's what I call him.
the dad, as he's taking Charity away, is like, she'll be back, dude. You'll never be able to satisfy my daughter. Get back here.
She's very sweet, though.
So yeah, they've been living together for a few years at this
Hold on,
point.
stop. Has she been in anything else?
Michelle Williams. She's a pretty prolific actress. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head is she's in Venom. She's the love interest in Venom. Hang on, let me see.
I want to see that, but I haven't seen that.
She was also in Blue Valentine, Manchester by the Sea, which I believe was an Oscar winner, and My Week with Marilyn. She played Marilyn Monroe.
So
I don't know what you've seen her in.
Her character I liked a lot in the story, but she, like, her as an actress, like, she didn't really do anything for me.
She was in Shutter Island as well.
She was in Shutter Island.
Yes.
Who was she? One of the nurses?
She played Dolores. I don't know if that was the wife. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, she was the wife.
I get that one in Inception so confused in my head. I'll be honest. I can't ever keep them straight.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah,
crazier in
her
Shutter
voice
Island.
wasn't like super great or anything either. That's why I'm saying Hugh Jackman like kind of held the cast. You know what I mean? Him and Zac Efron, but
And the bearded lady, okay?
yeah. I mean, obviously.
Indeed.
That's good.
So Phineas, they're married. They've popped out a kid or two at
Two
this
daughters.
point. And they're
Very cute.
They're living in the lower middle class, upper lower class, somewhere in that area.
They poor.
They're not
they're
rich,
fine.
but they're okay.
Yeah.
But he has much larger aspirations, and she's always been like, "Well, I like all of this. This is nice. This is fine. We're good to go." But he's like, "Nah, girl, watch this. I made a lamp, and it turns into stars." And he promises that to the girls that he's gonna I don't know, give them everything or something like that.
I'm going to give you ballet slippers. I'm going to give you I don't know. What
Right.
She wanted to marry Santa Claus. It was kind of a weird wish.
Oh,
It was pretty funny,
This is the
though.
same girl that at the end is just satisfied
She's a
being
tree.
a tree.
right, yeah.
The second born kid, man. What are you gonna do with them? AKA me.
The tree was very funny. That made me laugh.
But I say he's very like Aladdin because I think he gets fired from his job, but he like steals the deeds to the ships in the bottom of the ocean,
Right.
and uses it as collateral to get a loan from the bank. Like that's very Aladdin.
It's pretty, yeah. I mean, it's pretty ingenious actually, because they're going out of business, and he's like, "Oh, I'll take that. Thank you very much." When he's at the bank trying to get a loan, he sees like a little person who he thinks at first is a child, but then he hears him speak, and he's like, "Whoa, that's weird. I haven't seen that before. It's 1832 or whatever."
I forget we're in the 1800s here. Like I
Yes.
have to turn my brain to that, you know.
So he secures his loan by offering up some phony collateral or whatever, and he creates the Barnum's Museum of Oddities. I wrote Barnum's Museum of Oddities or something. I didn't.
I think it said Oddities and Curiosities or something like that.
Yeah, so he's got a big old.
It's basically a weird wax museum
of a giraffe. He's got some wax figures. He's got a guillotine. It's just a bunch of.
His wife and kids are like,
stuff.
oh. Okay.
At one point, his daughters say to him, like, "Daddy, there's something missing about your
They're
museum
like,
or whatever."
Everything's dead.
Yeah, there's too many dead things in your museum. You need something alive, something that isn't stuffed. And he's like, "Oh, okay, interesting."
I like the little pickpocket guy he picks up.
Oh
to
yeah,
help him with tickets.
Yeah, he hires a thief, and he's in there. He hires the little person, and he convinces him to join the troupe by saying that, like, hey, people are already laughing at you. Why don't you, like,
get paid for
get
it?
paid for it, man. Come on.
I was like, that's a really weird way to like hook somebody. But
okay, I guess. Sure. But he really sells him on it by saying, like, no, dude, like, we're gonna make you a star. They're gonna come out and they're gonna cheer for you.
And this is where he says, like, I'm P.T. Barnum. Like, I think that's when I was like, oh, he's Barnum. Because they don't really say that in the trailers or anything for this movie. Like, I didn't know it was about Barnum.
Right. Yeah, I guess. Well, maybe in one of the trailers it mentioned.
Anyways, then he's going on a hunt to find people, and I love that you write in here: bearded lady, tattooed guy, twins, black trapeze siblings, Chewbacca, the world's heaviest man, world's tallest man, aka the Irish giant.
Yeah.
He finds all these
homies.
that was a very, very funny
The
scene.
Chewbacca dude, though, I was like, that's Chewbacca. I don't know what that is.
That was a little disconcerting, but I
Chewbacca's
liked
little
this
brother.
whole scene where he was like amping them up and giving them like even more curious things about them. What did the heavy guy was like, I'm 500 pounds. He's like, 750 pounds?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I liked it.
I think the tall guy has like a very weird name to say. He's like, we're going to call you the Irish giant.
Irish giant. Yeah. I think he was actually like Russian or something like that. He's like,
Yeah.
it'd be funnier if you're Irish. So we'll just do that. Yeah, so he starts putting up posters all over town. He tries to get people to buy tickets to his museum where he's going to display all of these people.
But then he finds I like the scene where he finds the bearded lady.
Yeah, he walks into like the back of a sweatshop or something like that, and
She's like,
and there's a lady just singing back there with a cloth hanging right under her nose, and he pulls back the cloth, and there's a beard there. Which, by the way, me and Michelle were both noting that
it's so fake.
The beard makeup, I mean, it could have
put more money into it.
A little better. But, what are you going to do?
Looks like a bad Santa Claus, honestly.
Right, yeah. Glue it on, I guess.
You can, like, literally tell.
But it's okay. She's got enough talent to sing through that beard.
Oh, yeah. She definitely has a ton of talent.
Let me find her. Her name was Letty. She's played by Keela Settle.
Do you have a picture? Can we see what she looked like?
Without
that beard and boobies?
Yeah, well, there's still boobies in this picture, but yes, this is her.
Oh, wow. Hey, girl.
What up, girl? She has a killer voice.
Yeah,
she's fantastic.
Killer.
Here's a better picture of her.
Oh, yeah.
Of her actual face.
I guess you can take out the word that I said and that you repeated.
We'll leave it.
No, this is not a.
This is not an explicit episode.
No, can't just be putting that word out there.
So, he gathers the bearded lady, and she's very hesitant at first. She's like, "No, they're gonna hate me," and he's like, "No, you're I dare say beautiful," and everybody in the sweatshop laughs like, "How could you say that? She's got a big old beard, dude."
What's the song they sing at the circus on opening night?
I believe it's "Come Alive."
Come alive. So yeah, I can only I keep thinking just the last song of the movie right now. That's the one that's stuck in my head.
But this one was good.
It was
"Come
good.
Alive" song, where they all.
I like when they all sing because it's more like chorusy. I like
Yeah.
Yeah. He starts
There's some
stuffing.
good harmonies up in there.
He's stuffing pillows underneath the fat man's
Yeah.
suit, and he's
750 pounds.
right. He's just making them all even more odd and extraordinary
Yes.
than they already are, to really sell the show. So the musical number finishes, and we're like, "Wow, this is gonna be a great circus." And nobody buys any tickets to the show. It's
No, they do.
he only sells like 3 tickets.
That's for his
That was a
wax
curiosity
museum.
thing.
They
that
sell
was
it
before.
out, and everybody's.
And I like
There's
everyone
that
was,
one
like singing along.
Yeah.
And like.
Oh
getting
no,
it.
they're popular at this point.
Gotcha.
And then the critic, the one critic that he's always trying to impress, calls it a circus.
Right.
And he's like, I like that.
I like
name."
circus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, which is cool.
He's like, I don't even. He at this point he doesn't even care if it's bad press, like if they're making fun of it. He's like,
all
great, I'm
press is
selling tickets.
Good press. Yeah.
It's true though.
Until the actors start getting beat up because the drunk normies of the town are like, "Get out of here, you freaks!" And they come
It's
in.
like,
and
how
start,
about you fix your teeth before you come at me?
like, bro, you got dirt all over your face. Like, you can't say nothing to me just because I'm a giant not Irish person.
And then he has money at this point. He immediately buys a big house on like
he buys
It's
a
the house,
mansion.
yeah.
isn't it? The house.
The house that they broke into
Uh-huh.
at the beginning. Yes.
Oh, I didn't put that together.
Oh yeah, it's the house they broke into.
Which
Oh,
is
that's
right down the
cute.
street from her dad's house.
And she's like, oh, she actually is excited about the house, but then they start going to like the parties and the things, and she's like, okay, here we go again.
Well, and I could tell even at that point that it was like not so much rubbing it in the father's face, but like, look what I did.
See?
Look what I did. I told you.
You ain't the only one, homie.
Yeah.
Okay, I got money too.
I could see where that was going pretty quickly.
Yeah,
but-
Yeah, definitely.
He's really trying to stunt.
So they're at the party, and they see, what's Zac Efron's name again?
Carlisle.
Philip
Carlisle. And he does what Barnum does, but for like the theater. So like puts together theater shows with what they call like the snobs or whatever. And you can
The
tell
socially elite.
he doesn't really enjoy it, but he's like, whatever. He's like, I just put together these shows and I make money. And they meet up in a bar later. And so he's trying to convince him to join the circus instead.
Right. they
I will
sing
say
another
that
song.
when Zach first started talking, Luis and I looked at each other and was like, what's wrong with his voice?
He talks like this. in
Yeah,
this
he
movie.
had like,
It was burly.
his
yeah.
voice was weird.
well, okay,
I think
first
he's
off,
just probably older in this movie.
yeah,
than you
I don't
realize.
think I've ever seen him in something as like an adult.
Oh.
Yeah.
So but he also had a little bit of, not a drawl, but he definitely was talking
He
like.
sounds like that though, like in other movies. Like
Does
that's
he?
like his voice.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
his voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
well. All right, Zach.
I didn't
Getting
notice
all
I know.
anything.
family.
I know he's a man now.
Wow.
Wow. Because we seen him in what were those movies we saw him in? The one where he's in college in the fraternity.
Neighbors.
Neighbors, and then in
2.
Neighbors 2, he's a lot older in that one too,
yeah.
like this age, where his voice sounds like yeah. He kind of talks a little slow with like a drawl. Yeah. It's interesting, huh?
That is not what I was expecting.
Right.
But I was like, oh, but that scene was one of my favorites, in the bar scene.
Yeah. They
I
sing-
loved that scene, and
With
the
the-
dancing was so
The
good.
dancing. And Luis, who is your favorite character in the bar scene?
the bartender.
Yeah, the bartender was legit when he's trying to convince him.
Right. Because
No,
he's
no,
like,
no. You said something about the dancing.
Well,
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
really good
that
dancing
one.
in the scene. I love when they dance on the table.
they're dancing around.
It's
and
not. It's not the last part.
No, babe. We're talking about when
But
he's
the one
trying-
where he gets Zac Efron.
Yeah, that's what we're talking
yeah.
about.
Exactly.
You like the bartender?
He was pretty legit.
Yeah, because Hugh Jackman keeps like eyeing the bartender, and every time he looks over at the bartender will pass Zac Efron another drink, and then at one point he's like, "No, don't no more."
There's a lot of nonverbal communication going on in here
It's really
until
cool.
they sign the deal, and he's like, "Pour him another." Okay, pour him another.
It's like beautifully choreographed.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like what do you call that? Like what's the game like where you're trying to guess where like you have the cups and you're trying to guess where the thing is underneath
Yeah.
it.
the Russian dolls thing.
Kind of like the Russian dolls,
Yeah,
but
with the ball.
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
I
Yes,
know
I
what you're talking
do.
about. I couldn't tell you. What
But I also
Anywho.
like this
Grifter's
song
Dice
because
or whatever it's called. I don't know.
the
Yeah.
song kind of has a drawl to it too. So when they're singing it like "Don't you," I was like, "Is this a country song? What's going on?"
I don't
But-
remember it sounding like that, but okay.
No, go back and listen to it. I kept thinking it was a country song. And then I kept thinking of that TikTok because that TikTok, thanks, but no, I think I'm good to go. I was like, that's from this movie? Okay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I've seen actually a lot of like reels and TikToks about the part where
And we will come back home. I've seen a lot of that part.
Oh no. About the part where he's I can't repeat it because I don't know exactly what he says, but it's something about like the life you trapped up, like the
That's
life
that part I'm talking about.
Was it that part?
He's like, thanks, but no, I think I'm good to go. I'm something quite caught up in the life I'm trapped in.
Yeah, I've seen a lot about that.
Yeah, there's that.
It's usually like I'm trapped in the Disney life, but I'm
not
mad about it.
Yeah, we have all too many Disney Instagram accounts.
Right.
Yeah, so when I was listening, I mean, I don't know all the lyrics to these songs because I haven't listened to the albums outside the movie like most people haven't memorized. But it came on, and I was like, hey, that's that TikTok.
Yeah. I said the same thing, and Louise was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. That's a wife thing, I guess.
It's like it's because you don't follow these Disney accounts, Luke.
Yeah, I don't follow them either. So Phineas, he convinces Zac Efron to join up after they negotiate.
Zaffron, 10% of the company.
Yeah, he gets his 10%, which is pretty good if you ask me, honestly.
I think he asked for 20 at first. I was like, yeah, right. I'm going to give you 20%.
Well, I mean, we find out it's pretty good at the end. So.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So then he takes him to the circus. He's like, look at my circus. And he makes eye contact with Zendaya. I don't know her name in this movie is Zendaya.
I don't know her name in this movie either.
What's that girl's name?
Anne Wheeler.
Anne Wheeler.
Yes.
And he's like, I mean, she
All
good
I'm
looking
saying
though.
is that pink hair working.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Like
on
she
her,
could have that hair in real life.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good wig.
It's like her and her brother that are like the trapeze artists,
they're
right?
the trapeze artists.
Which is pretty sick.
Yeah, the brother is played by Yahya Abdul Mateen. He was in.
I feel like we've seen
his
him.
name's Yahya.
Yeah, his name is Yahya.
Oh.
He
not
was
as weird as Boo Boo Magoo.
Boo Boo McStewart.
Boo Boo McStewart. Boo Boo Magoo.
Boo Boo Stewart, not Boo Boo McStewart.
Oh. Either way, Boo Boo Stewart.
Anyway, Yahya, he was
Yahya.
Boo Boo. He was
Yahya and Boo Boo walked into a club.
He was in the HBO Watchmen show.
He was in that show that we watched?
He played the husband.
Oh.
Who eventually spoiler for the show.
Don't spoil it.
Okay,
it's still kind of too new.
He's a superhero.
He's a superhero.
I'll say that.
Okay.
But he's very good in
now that you say it, he's just not really in this movie that much for me to notice.
He's not in there. So yeah, Zac Efron sees Zendaya and he's like, "Whoa, you're not white. That's crazy." And
oh my god.
And he falls really hard, which is unfortunately illegal because it's like 1942 or whatever.
It's not 1942. We're in the 1800s here.
It was still legal in 1942 as
it'd
well.
be a little more
illegal,
accepted than
illegal.
Still illegal, but like 18.
But yeah, it's 1842, so it's highly illegal, I guess.
It's the only black person we've seen on this whole show. Movie.
I mean, her and the brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her brother's over there like Frankie first year to Michelle. Like.
Oh yeah, I would have gone for the brother. Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
the other black lady was super pretty too.
Which
the
one?
bald one.
Oh yeah.
I kept thinking she was like from the Dora Milaje or something. I was like, is she playing one of the Dora Milaje? I couldn't. She kind of looked like it.
Possibly, but I didn't look that up. So yeah, he's having conflicted feelings about her. They get invited to Buckingham Palace by the Queen herself. Which
that was kind of insane.
Which is crazy.
I will say that's where we stopped the first night we were watching, and I didn't want to read into the story, but I had to find out if that was true or not because I was like, why would they put that in if it wasn't true? And they did.
They did. They invited them
and
to
I thought
that
they did.
Yeah, it happened in real life. I thought that was bizarre.
That's actually very interesting.
You'd figure like you got to make sure that's accurate, or else they'd be, bringing unnecessary press to the House of Windsor. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Victoria was
makes
about it apparently.
sense because it's like a curiosity. It's something entertaining. Because I guess they invited entertainment to the palace. I'm sure all the time. But
sure. I don't know how much
from America.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They were probably like these Americans.
Yeah.
That queen is the same queen who's also part werewolf, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you please explain what you just said to me?
In the Doctor Who episode.
Okay.
One of the queens. I think it was Victoria.
It was Victoria.
I don't know how it ends up, but she ends up being some part werewolf or something.
Gotcha. Okay, I just needed the Doctor Who part. I was like, wait a second. In real life, was this in The Crown?
That would have been fantastic.
So they get invited to Buckingham Palace, and Zendaya and her brother are like, is everybody invited? Because I don't know if you know, but I doubt that there have been any black people in that palace that haven't been working there for free, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? And they're like... And Zac Efron goes, you know what? If we all can't go, then none of us go. Deal? And I was like, okay, cool.
But they made them like wear their costumes and everything, but I guess that makes sense. But
That was PT
I'm like, did
who
they
made 'em.
perform? Like, I'm assuming they performed. If they were invited.
I won't lie.
I mean,
wish. Yeah, I feel like they skated over a lot of stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
It
But
made me think
they
were
probably
going to perform.
performed, right? I feel like
Yeah.
that'd be weird otherwise.
Right. So they walk into the palace, and all the hoity-toities are giving them all dirty looks. Oh, he's got hair all over his face. My God, I can't believe it. He's so tall. He's freakishly tall, and he's from Ireland. My God. So...
Our Irish people don't look like that.
So they get up to the Queen, and immediately the what's his name? The Tom Thumb.
Did they actually call him Tom Thumb?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was his name in
I just kept calling him like the little soldier.
That wasn't his name in real life, but I mean that was his character circus name in real life.
Well, because I know that there was the book, but I didn't know if that's what they called him. Anywho, yes, the little soldier boy.
General Tom Thumb. He gives a witty retort to the Queen of some sort.
I think he says like, you don't look something bad yourself.
Well, they said something about him being short, like you're.
And I think he was like, you're not too tall yourself.
Yeah.
Or something
Right,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh my
short.
God, he just said that to the
think,
Queen.
I think she said, you're even smaller in real life than what I've heard. And he's like, you're not that tall yourself. And everybody's like, he's about to get his head chopped off. And but the Queen is like,
No, she's like, you gotta do it.
She thinks
like
it's
British.
hilarious.
British people laugh.
So she loses it. She loves them. She loves them all, and they all have a grand old time. At
Miss Jenny Lind walks in.
That's right. And when Hugh Jackman sets his eyes on Miss Jenny Lind, I think his heart does that like auga kind of stuff.
Oh, definitely.
And I won't even lie. Luis, this is where Luis started with the like, I'm gonna shut this movie off now.
Oh, because he was already like, great, he's gonna cheat.
Oh, yeah.
And he was pissed.
Well, because he had like when he introduces him. Well, when Zach quote unquote introduces him to
he's
him,
hardcore flirting
like,
with her.
yeah, he has the little like. It's a lip thing that Hugh Jackman does.
Lip
Yeah.
thing.
It's like a smile with like a little.
Yeah, it's like a smirk.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. And Luis got super mad because have I talked on the podcast about my problem with Christian Bale's teeth? Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Wish him bail.
I know that we've talked about it, but
I don't know if you talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
have
so.
like a very big problem with Christian Bale's teeth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're not good looking teeth, but when he talks, they're like, and
Yeah.
so when he's
Okay.
Batman and only half of his face shows, it's just and then when we watched him in the murder movie, it was just all teeth.
An American Psycho.
Oh
yeah.
my God, it's all teeth, blood and teeth. Anywho, so when Hugh Jackman's doing this and he's got the little smirk, he's trying to be sexy. All I saw were teeth, and I was like, Lou, he has Christian Bale teeth, and he's like, you don't say anything against Hugh Jackman.
How
Dude,
dare you?
It's like The Prestige. It's Hugh Jackman versus Christian Bale in the Battle of the Teeth.
Have you seen that movie, Michelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
better
that
watch
Oh
it.
my gosh, Luis made me watch it. It's a very good movie.
It's
but
awesome.
Now I have to watch it again and see the Battle of the Teeth.
Battle of the
Oh
Teeth.
my gosh.
They're both in there. So
Anyways, he is hardcore flirting with her to try to get on her good side and be like, come to America, throw a show. Never heard you
show.
Never
Throw a
heard
show.
you sing, but I don't need to.
Yeah,
Make
that
some
was
money.
pretty. I won't even lie. That was pretty.
Ballsy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Absolutely. So this is very similar to how it happened in real life. He saw her at an event where he had never heard her sing before. He had just heard of her renown or whatever, and he went right up to her and he's like, "Hey, girl, what's up? You trying to make some money? Let's go to the U.S. I'll pay you $1,000 every night if we do 150 nights. You make 150K. Doesn't that sound good?" And in 1837, that would be several $1 million or whatever. So yeah, it sounded pretty good. But she wanted her money in advance. So he had to go do his little swindles and get loans and stuff like that
Yeah.
to pay her out. does boat her out to the U.S. and
I didn't even think about that. They had to take a boat all the way to Europe
and back.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I'm done.
It's a long trip. So they do several shows, and then she kind of realizes that he's making way more than her because he's selling out these shows, and like so she's getting $1,000 a night, and he's making like $6,000 a night. So at a certain point, she renegotiates the deal, so that she gets paid more on top of what she's already getting, and then after like 93 shows or something like that, she splits off from him and goes and does the tour on her own, and he runs off with his take or whatever, which was still considerable. I think he ended up making, where did I have it, $500,000, which in today's time is $15.5 million. But
okay, PT.
Yeah. But she ended up making $350,000, which is more than $150 that she was set to make.
Well, good for her.
So yeah, everybody came out good.
But they didn't have like a love.
They did not have an affair or anything. Well, it doesn't say that in this Wikipedia article at the very least.
I don't know what happened in the 1800s.
If he was a swindler, he was probably swindling. You know what I'm saying?
But
yeah.
It's 1850 at this point.
Whose jacket is this?
It's my jacket.
Okay, I might put it on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so he was only 40 years old. So yeah, I guess he could have been. I thought he was a little bit older.
You said he was 60.
I'm thinking
he was 60 when he started the circus. So that's the thing about the movie is that they smoosh it all together.
I see.
But
so the Jenny Lynn thing happened
first. Per.
I'm kind of shocked in my mind still about the boat because
they got
how
invited
long
to go see the Queen.
Was he away from his wife?
Probably like a month at least.
No, probably like 3.
Yeah.
Because it'd be taking some time to get one way.
Mm-hmm.
They were there.
They hung out for, I assume,
that's
at
gonna
least
be
a
a
weekend.
no for me. It's gonna be a no for me.
Yeah, hard no.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
No thanks, Queen.
And then
Or
he
take
left his
her.
wife
I mean,
again
I don't know. God
to go
forbid.
on tour with Jenny Lind everywhere.
So yeah, he
Yeah,
gets
he
back,
was kind of a you know what.
and he informs his wife Charity. They're like, hey, me and this super hot redhead are going out on tour. I'll see you in a couple months. Have fun with the kids.
He
Bye-bye.
didn't need to go.
Pause. I have a major issue. I was so mad. They called her an opera singer.
Right.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
In the literal hell.
I don't know.
Why did they use that word?
I don't know why they did that in the movie.
Just
I was
take
also
that word out.
I was
they
also
should have
very
just said
mad.
she was a singer.
Yeah, they could have just said singer
Because
popular
the song
singer.
was really good, but it wasn't an opera
the
song.
song was great. But yeah, I truly wish that they had just said singer and not opera singer, because she started singing this incredibly poppy ballad or whatever.
I was like, and I thought to myself, like, of course this is more popular music. I get it, but then don't call her an opera.
Right, 'cause that-
I think they were
took
trying
me
to
out of the
modernize it, but like they shouldn't have used that word.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right.
Because I was waiting, literally, the way she was standing with the backdrop, I thought it was going to be Think of Me from
Think of me.
Phantom. That's what it felt like it was going to be. And then she started singing this pop song, and I was like,
It was like a Celine Dion song.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, they should have
Celine
just
Dion
said
would rock that song.
she's the most popular singer in Europe, and then it would have been
Yeah.
fine. But oh well. So anyway, she's singing this song. She's going in hard. Her pipes are a booming.
And his face is like, I've never seen anybody more beautiful in the world. I'm tearing up. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm popular. Where I was like, well,
popular.
I was like, well, he's going to cheat on his wife. And
Oh, yeah.
in my mind, he was already flirting with her hardcore, going everywhere around the world, leaving his wife and kids at home. That would have been enough for me. I would have been like, screw you, dude.
I mean, if he is like a music producer type, then this is just work, and is not necessarily
read between the lines.
not necessarily the path to an emotional affair or whatever.
He didn't even
But-
turn around and wave bye to his kids, and they're like,
Luis
Daddy,
was
no!
so mad.
Daddy, don't leave us! And he was staring at her like, I love you. I was like,
when he's looking at her on stage and she's singing, I get. I mean, the way the movie portrays it, it definitely looks like he's fallen in love with her.
For sure.
Right? Like
Yeah.
he's never seen anyone more beautiful, like you said. But then, by the time it gets to him actually denying her, which I was surprised by.
I was very shocked.
I guess that original look is just dollar signs in his eyes.
For
He's like,
sure.
ka-ching, this lady's making me
I don't.
rich.
I think he's kind of into her.
Well,
and
I mean,
he,
yeah,
like,
he's
took
definitely
it
into
too
her.
far. Because if you think about it, even like he flirts with everybody.
Yeah.
That like he tries to get money
Swindle.
from. You know.
he's in a sorority.
But
Right.
and then
Best recruiter
and then
in a sorority.
definitely. And then Andre was like, oh, she did that. And I was like, I would have done the same thing. This fool led me on. Oh, let me kiss you right on the camera. Ka-ching, ruin your life. Because he led her on hardcore. And they were spending months together. Like, I probably would have felt the same as her.
And
like,
I won't lie, I
excuse me?
thought she was gonna like bounce out mid-song.
Right.
And then
Oh
when
my God, that
happened,
was
I
so
like,
sad where she was like crying in the song.
Mhm.
And then I was like, Andre was like, that was messed up that she kissed him. I was like, psh, a would. Like,
she did it perfect. It was very. So did something like? Oh no, that didn't happen in real.
No,
life.
that didn't happen in real life. Or at least, as far as I know, it didn't happen in real life.
Well,
But
come on, Wikipedia. Give
come
me
on,
the
Wikipedia.
goods.
Yeah, give me the juicy stuff, Wikipedia. It's got 4 paragraphs about how much money she
Will,
made.
and then I think that was his awakening that like, oh, people have feelings. I need to think about that.
People have feelings.
I won't
Not
lie.
just my feelings
There
and
was
my
multiple
childhood
times
upbringing.
where I wish someone would have like even just said something to him because so I don't want to call them the circus performers, but that's what I'm going to call them.
Mm-hmm.
There was multiple times where they said something to like Zac Efron's character or just in and amongst themselves where they were like, well, he's gone again. Like, where is he? Blah, blah, blah.
He's never here.
And so we as the viewer know like they feel like abandoned
They feel
by
rejected
him.
or whatever.
And then there was so I wish they would have been like, where are you? Like,
Right.
we need you here. And then the time where they bring Jenny to
New York.
New York and she sings there and he won't like let them in
To the
to like
party.
see them at the party.
Right.
Like
That was messed up.
Luis and I looked at each other like, oh hell no. Like
It was messed up.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely agreed. Because to me,
Also, like, sorry. I just feel like he should flaunt who he was. Like, here are my people.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it doesn't even make any sense. Like you're famous because of these people.
Yeah.
It's Bearded Lady and Chewbacca that have made you who you are. Why wouldn't you show them off? You
Yeah.
know, at every opportunity.
Exactly.
Because they are cool. You
Yeah.
know, and it is super cool to see them in real life. So it's like, oh my God, I went to see Jenny Lind, and the whole circus was sitting in the front row. It was crazy.
Like,
I
even if
saw-
they're talking about him, like, oh, he brought the circus freaks, they're still talking about him.
Hell yeah.
Right, yeah, his no press is bad press or whatever would be.
All of a sudden,
front and
he was
center.
like, oh, the snobs.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
and I think his
embarrassed.
wife kept saying, like, why are you trying so hard to impress these people?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand that.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think that was like the first major heartbreak for me on screen was he made them stand in the back, like standing room
Standing
only,
room,
and
yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
The acoustics are
But-
better over there. I was like, bro, you better shut up.
Right? And then, but Zach was standing with them, and I was like, okay, bro.
He's a good guy.
like, you a good man.
and he was
was trying to
holding,
stand
he
next
was
to
holding
Zendaya.
her hand until somebody looked, and then he.
Well, the
Oh.
people who looked were his parents.
I
was his
know.
And
I know.
and you don't realize that at first. It's just like, oh, there's some hoity-toity whites over there being disapproving, and then he
I
sees
won't
them
lie,
later.
I did think that it was his parents just because
really?
I was like, well, I mean, I guess it could have been some random white people, but there was like a sense of recognition.
I didn't put it
Right.
together that it was his parents till later
Mm-hmm.
when he saw his parents at the show and
Yeah.
he had brought her and he was like, this is what's her face, and his dad was like, how dare you bring the help.
Oh.
I was like, oh no.
Oh no!
He told his
indeed.
dad off though, which was good.
Right.
but-
Yeah. Yeah. So those are all good scenes. I like the
I did
Zac
like when
Efron
they.
and
Oh,
Zendaya
I'm
stuff.
sorry. I do like when they, after that scene though, when they bust in
Mm-hmm.
like to the party. I liked that. That was cool. And how it like continued.
Oh, how
on
they were
into the
like, I'm
circus.
not, I don't know what song they were singing, but they were like, I'm not going to be ashamed of who I
Yeah.
am or whatever.
I think that's the best song in the movie.
She and that lady's voice is so good that
Oh,
she
yeah.
holds the chorus,
It's
you know?
called "This Is Me."
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty
that
good.
that was a really good song.
It wasn't. So the song itself wasn't like a hit for me, but the scene was
Mm-hmm.
really good. And didn't it go into the circus? Like it
Yes.
warped from like the back room into the
Because
party, and then
they
into
had
the
a
circus.
show that night, so they
Yeah.
were there to watch Jenny Lind first, and then their show was
Yeah.
after. So it shows them trying to get into the party to schmooze, and then get rejected, and then going like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Let's go back over to this area, the rehearsal space, and let's mess this
But
show
the
up.
riots are like really high at this point of
Mm-hmm.
the people in the city like wanting them out. Like even in this
Oh,
scene,
right,
they're
right.
like yelling at them.
Yes.
Like in the circus. kiss now. Like they're paying money to buy a ticket to yell at them. But like, okay.
Which is interesting.
No presses or all presses. No,
Good
bad
press?
presses, good press.
Yeah,
No press.
no
All
presses.
press is. Wait, how does it go? Bad press is good press.
No press is bad press.
No. Bad. No, wait.
Even if it's
Bad press is good press. All press is.
Writers,
is
go
good
ahead.
pre- all press is good.
Listeners, write in and tell us how dumb we are. What is the phrase?
I think it's all press is good press.
I think that might
Right?
be it.
Dude, and we are stone cold sober.
There's no
Yeah, for once we're super sober.
there's no press like show press, you know? So anyway, they smashed that song and
But again, that would have been a perfect like time for them to be like,
F you.
yeah,
Right,
dude,
we're
what
here.
the heck?
you know,
Like, I guess that's the intention of
we're
the
making
song,
money.
but like, dude,
hello.
we're the ones making you money.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real here.
It's us and Jenny Lind, I guess.
I got my own problems. Okay, so then is this where we get the Zac Efron Zendaya scene?
Yes.
Okay,
So-
pause.
Go ahead.
Best song. I'm sorry. You guys can say what you want.
You like
best
this one?
Song, best scene.
Yeah?
Louise, trapezing. What you think? What you think, boy?
That was a pretty awesome scene for sure.
Yeah.
I don't like trapeze, but whatever.
You don't
Luis
like
has like
trapeze?
a major issue. It's not even trapeze things. He has a major issue with, I don't know what you call that, but like the wrapping and then the unwrapping.
Oh, I love it.
Like
so
the
we've-
ribbon work or whatever.
Yes. so
Luis
we-
would have been my mom in the stands at every gymnastics meet
For
I had
sure.
as a kid
We
because I
watched-
could hear her gasping.
We watched a show. We went to like an Irish dance show at the Gala once, and
Oh, he just freaked out.
they had a couple of those dance numbers where people would go all the way up, and then
I
they
love
roll
it.
for like
Yeah.
5 seconds down to the stage and then stop right before they die. And Luis literally would like grab my hand and be like, "Oh."
His face right now is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He dropped his phone. He was like, no.
Louise, is it just like the anxiety of watching them do that you don't like?
But they're professionals.
No.
It's just you don't like the movements themselves? Yeah. Okay.
He's nodding his head. instead of,
He does
you know.
not like
He doesn't
it.
even want to talk
No,
about it, man.
he really, really hates it. But
The scene was legit.
that scene was so cool. It was beautifully choreographed.
The song. What was the song, babe?
Rewrite the stars.
That's the one you like the best?
Yeah.
I like the.
It's probably because it's the only one I heard.
I like
before
the
this
one after this.
Right. So yeah, them trapezing around is awesome. Like it's really cool.
It's very visually appealing.
the choreography in this movie
And
all
Zac
around
Efron's
is
voice is
legit,
good.
but watching them do that was
They
really
both
dope.
sing well.
I was
Yeah.
surprised at how well she sings.
Well, she's a musician. I think
the
she
show
has
that she had on Disney Channel, she sang in.
yeah. I think she's got a couple
Yeah.
albums.
She
under
has
her
some
belt and
albums
stuff
too,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had no idea
What
who
was
she
the
was
show
before
she was
Spider-Man.
on in Disney Channel? I'm gonna look it up.
She had a couple of shows. I think she was like on a show as a supporting cast member, and then maybe had a show with
I think so.
somebody else.
Yeah, I
Bella
had-
Bella Thorne. I think she had a show with.
Who's Bella Thorne?
She's another Disney kid.
She was who was on it? It was oh jeez.
Yeah, I had no idea who she was pre Spider-Man.
She was
Right.
in 2 Disney Channel original movies, but I don't know the names of them because I don't recognize them. Casey Undercover, that was her show that she had,
Okay.
and that like where she was a super smart girl turned spy. Yeah, she was on another. Shake It Up.
Was that a movie?
It was a sitcom.
It was a
It
show.
reminds
Okay.
me of like
It was like they
Chicken
danced
with,
and
like-
sang type of thing.
with like
Wait, what?
I think I'm thinking of Shake and Bake.
But this
Oh.
is why it freaked me out because I was like, well, Zac Efron already did Disney Channel. Like, he grew up, and now she's starting Disney Channel. And this was one of the first things she did not on Disney Channel. Like, because she was barely, like, 18 or 19 in the show, I think. I think she was, like,
In this
19.
movie?
And so it was freaking me out. I was like, is she just having visions? Like, oh, my gosh, I'm kissing Zac Efron from High School Musical. Like... weird to me.
Why would she be upset about that?
I mean, I wouldn't be upset about it either, but it was freaking me out because like he was a man and she's a teen to me.
I mean,
You know?
he was like 27 and she was like 19, which I mean, it's a considerable age difference, but I mean, it's not. There have been crazier age differences.
Definitely,
in
but
Hollywood.
it freaked me out the first time I saw it,
Sure.
where I was like, "What?"
He was only 27 when he did this.
I don't know.
I don't know how old he was. What year did this come out?
This came out in 2017.
Oh my
and
gosh,
let's-
it's 4 years old.
Let's see how old Zefron is.
He's like 30 something.
Yeah, the homie.
I feel like he's
Zeph.
like 32 or something.
He was born in '87, so he is
32.
in 2017. He was 30.
Yeah, he was 30 and she was 19. It freaked me out.
Right.
That wouldn't freak you out? I don't know.
She was born in '96, so she is a year older than my sister. So she is 25 right now, and in 2017 she was 21.
Oh, 21 and 30. Okay, acceptable.
That's all it took? Was that 2 years?
She can drink liquor. It's fine.
Especially if he be looking like that, okay?
Yeah.
A snack. Looking like a snack.
Contact us
Actually,
at
a
Walt
meal,
Pod.
but you know.
Check my math on that, everybody. So yes,
You were doing ups and downs, okay?
Yeah.
What is that called? Addition and subtraction? I don't know about that. I really appreciate the la la la.
So anyway, they profess their love for, or he professes his love for her, and he's like, "Hey,
So
girl."
does she, though.
Well, but she
I
also
know
backs
you
off at the
want
very end,
you.
right?
Yeah, she says, like, you know I want you.
Yeah, but then she's like, okay, bye,
But
though,
I-
Yeah.
right at the end.
Can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're not allowed to be
'Cause it's
together.
interracial marriage and it's taboo.
Ain't we're talking about marriage yet, but okay.
I mean, okay.
She's like, I want you, but you're going to get ripped away
You're
from
gonna get me in trouble. You're
Yeah.
gonna get me thrown under a tree or something like that, homie. So they move on from that scene, and let's see what happens. Oh, we cut over to some other marital problems where Phineas has gone back home to his wife Charity. And she's like, "Bro, you're doing too much. You're working all the time. I never see you. The girls miss you. What's happening? When will it be enough?" And he's like, "It'll never be enough. I got to keep working. I'm doing this for the girls." So
Yeah, he's got issues right now.
right. So
From childhood trauma.
I think this is where Charity finds out that he got a smooch.
It's in the news. Like,
Yeah.
there's a picture on the front
It's in the-
paper
it's in the newspaper.
of the paper, and she's like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm going home. And he's like, no, that's the words I didn't ever want to hear. Your father told me you would come home one day, and now you're going home.
Right.
Well, she's not coming home because he ain't sad or she ain't satisfied, bro. She's
Just
coming home because you an idiot.
And also, the loan
Oh my
fell
gosh.
through or something.
Right. So this is where it's like all falling apart for old PT.
Yeah. They're broke again.
'Cause
the
he-
house is getting taken.
The house is getting taken. He doesn't have enough money to pay for
anything.
The
anything.
loans, nothing back.
And then also, I believe around here is when the circus crew gets like attacked outside of the museum building, and some homies go in there and knock over a lamp, and that's all it takes to set that whole place ablaze, man. The fire precautions in the 1800s were not great.
No.
So
He's lost like everything.
so the whole circus burns down, and they're all sad and dejected.
And they're going to have to rewrite the stars, you know?
They got to rewrite the stars, which is hard to do. You got to get on the trapeze and all kinds of stuff.
They ain't got no...
I don't know, that Irish person could definitely reach the stars.
The giant Irish,
my gosh.
the Irish giant.
So he's very sad, and he goes to the bar drinking his drinky drink. And who comes? The circus people.
Oh, also we should mention that Zac Efron, he runs into the burning building to try to save Zendaya. But she
yeah.
gets rescued in some other way. So PT has to go in to rescue Zac Efron. He pulls his burnt body out of the building, and then he has to go to the hospital.
But not PT, because he's Hugh Jackman. He's Wolverine. He
He's
don't
Wolverine.
need to go.
He heals,
to the
man.
Wolverine's
hospital.
right on out
Yeah,
Did it hurt?
he's like, I regenerate.
Every time.
You're taking a lot of... what do you call that? Smoke.
I don't need it.
His claws pop out as he's carrying Zac Efron.
That would have been really good.
So he's
I
at the
wouldn't
bar.
even blinked. Would have been like, yep.
so
This
yeah,
is
he's
my
at,
favorite song, the From Now On one.
he's at
Because
the
it's
bar.
classic Hugh Jackman
Musical.
vibrato voice. And it's just like a classic musical song. Those are usually the ones I go for.
Yeah.
And we will come back home.
The circus
And
homies
the
have
dancing is very good.
have to cheer him
it's
up.
like lots of legs slapping in this
Like, hey,
one.
buddy, don't worry about it. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
It's all good.
it was very cute because all of the friends, they're like, you know, you're an a-hole, but
Yeah.
you brought us together. You're still an a-hole, but
They're
we're
like,
gonna try really hard.
they're like, we
to-
kind of need you to get your crap together so that our family can stay together. So
Please.
yeah, they are very nice about it, but they're like, you're also a jerk.
Right, yeah. But they accept him for who he is, just like he accepts them for who they are, I guess. So yeah, I think this is the part of the movie where I'm having trouble with like his character in particular because he seems like more of a jerk face than he's being treated like. Like he lost everything, and so I guess that's a reason to be sad for him. But for the circus folk, I mean, at this point, I'd be like, hey, Zac Efron, once you're out of the hospital, can you just like take over? Because I'm kind of done with this PT dude. That's what I would be thinking. But the fact that they all come back and are like, we love you, buddy. Come on back and help lead the circus again. It's just kind of a disconnect for me.
I just wish that he had to win their respect back versus them coming to him and being like,
exactly. Yeah, he should have been like, you know what? I'm picking up these bootstraps and I'm getting us rich again. All of us together. We got this. Hands in. You too, Chewbacca, you know? But that's not the way it goes necessarily.
Lean down, giant Irish.
You're too tall, buddy. So
who is dancing on the bar in this scene, and Luis was
I love
dying.
What? I love it.
He's like, why is he on the bar? He's tall enough.
he's too big.
He wants to come back
There's
home.
no point.
Come back home again.
Don't say he wants to hit the ceiling because he could just hit the bar.
Yeah, I mean, he could probably just hit it standing on the ground. He doesn't need to get all the way up there. So PT, he's feeling himself once again. He goes back to his father-in-law's house to pick up his wife, and he's like, "Hey, where is she?" And he's like, yeah, "She'll never love you, dog." And
the kids are like,
the
"She's
kid's
at
like,
the beach."
"She's at the beach." She's like, "Thanks, girls."
She's at the beach.
Those kids are so freaking cute. I cannot.
I can just picture Addie being like, "She's at Sue's beach."
Yeah,
At Sue's beach.
Mama's at Sue's beach.
That's just beach. So he goes to the beach. He finds her, and he gives his apology, and this is another disconnect for me where she forgives him, but I feel like he didn't even necessarily explain himself that much. It wasn't
He didn't talk about Terry Lind once.
Right? Yeah, he didn't,
Like, not even once.
He didn't speak about her, and
He's like, I'm sorry that I'm bad with money.
Sorry that you
can we get back together?
felt disrespected, but we cool now, right? She's like, yeah.
I mean, if he looked like Hugh Jackman, I'd probably be like, "We cool."
Okay.
Luis. He went.
A sigh of
Are
exasperation.
you flipping us off while you're itching? Or? You're itching with your middle
We
finger. I
will
didn't know.
come back home.
So he gets or Zac Efron gets out of the hospital. Zendaya confesses her love to him in the hospital. She's like, "It's okay. We could brave the racism together. Let's do it."
Luis and I had a problem with this scene. So she's sitting there in the hospital with him.
Mhm.
And he's holding. Would you like to pick up the mic if you're going to say, "Oh yeah"?
No.
He's like saying, "Oh yeah," without the mic. Anywho, so she's sitting there. She's holding his hand, and it pans out, and you see them sitting there, and then you see someone walk up, and it's an old white dude, and then
They're
it
like
kind of just
they're like making out, right?
yeah, and then it just like goes to the next.
That dude was
scene.
just like staring at them.
Yeah, and then Luis and I were like, "Oh, I thought that was like his dad coming to see him or something."
Oh.
And then I was like, or maybe it was a doctor.
I think
it was a doctor.
But it was just weird that like it just didn't like they
didn't go
need to
anywhere.
show him.
Right.
Like they could have just like been in on their face and then it went somewhere else. But we were like waiting for there to be some kind of conflict or something, and they just show this dude standing there watching them. I'm like,
Yeah, I think it was a doctor.
I wonder if that's maybe like part of like a cut scene or something like that. Like
Maybe.
maybe there was going to be some kind of confrontation, like, "Hey, what are you doing, putting your lips on that darkie or whatever?" And then and then and then she goes like, "Yeah, I can love whoever I want to love," and then he's like, "I will love whoever I want to love," and then they kick his butt or whatever. But that they must have left that on the cutting room floor.
I guess so.
Yeah.
thank God.
I mean, that was a great job,
Pretty good-
babe.
pretty good
job.
scene.
You're
Pretty
such
good scene
a
in my head,
writer. Yeah. What a great writer.
So they all go back to like the ruins of the museum, and they're like, "Well, I don't know how we're gonna get out of this one, guys, because we're broke and we're all broke, and single one of us has any money." And then Zac Efron's like, "Bro, guess what? You were paying me 10%. 10% was kind of a lot, so I can hook us up
He was like, I was taking my money out every
week
because I knew you was gonna be like.
I knew you were not gonna pay me, basically, which is pretty smart. So Zac Efron funds the circus, and they reformat it so that they don't need a building. They get themselves a tent, and then we
By the
see
docks.
they go down to the docks, and we see the scene from the beginning where they're getting their Greatest Showman on.
This is the greatest show.
Yeah, something like that.
We haven't seen it enough to know the words, people.
I don't know
Sorry.
what you're singing.
I feel like people are going to be disappointed in us. Like, you don't know the words. We've seen it twice.
Yeah, I've only seen it twice. I think I might be listening to the soundtrack after we saw the movie the first time.
Maybe I'll listen to it. It's very interesting because I remember we went to Monterey to visit my aunt and my uncle and my niece and nephews, and we stayed at their house, and they had this movie on, like in the background all the time. And we were asking them, like, why do you guys just? They were like, you seen this? And we were like, yeah, but they just have it on, like, in the house all the time, like, just playing, and they'll be singing it and stuff, and I was like, what is going on? Like, they're obsessed.
Your aunt
with
loves
that
it.
movie.
I think she said that she went to the theater to see it, like, dozens of times.
Oh, dozens of times.
Oh, my.
She said, like, her and, like, my niece would go, like, every weekend.
To see The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it's Hugh Jackman. I get it.
Anyway, so...
Do you like him?
I don't know. I hope he likes me. I don't know. First
I
day,
didn't
kind
say
of
does he
nervous.
I
like
hope he
you.
likes you. You better chill out.
I said, do you like him?
Yeah, look at that ring on your finger, homegirl. You better not leave me for no Hugh Jackman. I will be very sad.
You leave me for Beyonce.
Wolverine stole my wife. Well, he didn't have to use his claws. I couldn't fight him.
What?
So that scene ends, and then PT, like, he rides an elephant to go see his wife and kids.
was
First
so
of all, he
dumb.
gives his hat to Zac Efron and
All
is like,
right.
I'm done. You do this. And
Yeah,
he's
you
like,
be the
okay,
leader.
great.
Hooray!
Hooray for me.
So he goes and parties out there, and then
100%.
And so he rides an elephant to go pick up his family, and then is that the very end of the movie?
It's at their daughter's ballet
Yeah,
show.
the daughter's having a ballet.
Recital.
And,
And
he wasn't late. I guess
he had the,
came.
but he's definitely showing off in front of everybody.
Why did he? I mean, I guess it was supposed to be cute, but it was just awkward. Like, where do you park the elephant? Like, I just was not happy with that. He could.
What was he gonna ride his big front wheel bike and little back wheel bike? Or what? What was he gonna take?
Big front wheel and little back wheel bike. That would have been cool.
Yes, that would have
Like, seriously, what was he gonna do?
I mean,
Getting a horse-drawn carriage. I don't know.
could have got a carriage, rickshaw.
Could have walked.
It's
Let
probably
me
not
take
that
my
far.
elephant, Jumbo.
It's taking Jumbo over, you know.
Big front. Like,
Dude,
Hilarious.
what do you even call those? I know exactly what you're talking about, but
I don't know what they're called, but they're old timey bikes. I would have been impressed.
That weird tricycle thingy.
not
I can find
tricycle.
well,
There's only 2 wheels.
some of them have this little tiny wheels on the back that go like this.
It's got one little wheel on the back and then a big old wheel that you sit on top
Some
of.
got 2 little wheels. Like,
no, stop doing that. It doesn't.
Anyway, that's the end of the movie. they finish. It was the greatest show, indeed. The end.
I am seriously mad that they didn't get on a train. Like,
They showed a shot of
Y'all
a
got the
train,
lions,
didn't
but
they?
you didn't
it
have
wasn't-
no train.
the train was when he was with Jenny. Like, I feel like he
Right,
would have
that's
said,
right.
like, this is a really good way to get us from here to there. This would be a really good
This
way
would be cool
to show off my.
if we took the circus on the road or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, because that was.
I'm Shakira.
Oh no, Owen Wilson's here. Yeah, that was. I mean, that was a pretty ingenious part of his whole marketing scheme. P.T. Barnum was taking the circus on the road because that expanded his reach astronomically, and that's what really made it famous. Like I bet they didn't get invited to go see the Queen until after the train
Sure.
and the tent stuff, you know. But yeah, that's The Greatest Showman. This movie had a budget of $84 million, and it ended up with a worldwide box office of $435 million. So it did pretty well
Work it.
in terms of cashola. However, on Rotten Tomatoes, this film only has a 57% on the
Wow.
critic scale, but the audience score is 86%.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know people like it more than that.
Yeah, so
What's the critic consensus?
Critics' consensus says, The Greatest Showman tries hard to dazzle the audience with a Barnum-style sense of wonder, but at the expense of its complex subjects, far more intriguing real-life story.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean I don't think it's a 57, but
Yeah, I
geez,
don't think
pretty
it's
low.
it's quite that low, but
that's certified rotten.
but yeah, they were it is certified rotten. Yeah, they were harsh. Let me see. One of these bad reviews, it says The film's insistence that Barnum's freak show is born from warm, fuzzy humanity and very contemporary notions of inclusivity is not just historically inaccurate, it's at odds with The Greatest Showman's extremely pretty idea of freakery. Pink hair? I guess he was
Pink
mad
hair's
at,
not freaky.
Excuse you, sir. The pink hair was great.
I definitely had pink hair before, remember?
Not you.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think he's trying to say that, like, well, that's what makes you a freak is that you got pink hair. I think it was more
I think
that
it was like
she was black.
A black trapeze artist
Yeah,
is
exactly.
what they were trying to get at.
Exactly. So I think that's just they only give it 2 out of 5 stars. Anyway,
That's a really stupid review.
yeah.
I mean, it's a show about a circus.
I mean, I get it,
They're going
though.
to exaggerate the...
But no
Stuff.
doubt, I think, okay, I kind of agree. Okay, I take it back.
Mhm.
Thought it was a stupid review, but now that I'm thinking about it, it has a little bit of truth. So they're picking oddities to show them off,
Mhm.
and he's marketing them as oddities.
Right.
And at first, right, he's trying to make money off of them.
Mhm.
And they amongst themselves make a family out of it.
Right.
And I think similarly, like what we were saying, he's not really treating them like that anymore.
Mm-mm.
He's just dollar and centsing their humanity
Existence. Yeah.
or whatever. And I think that they just don't go far enough either way.
They're kind of stuck in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
In
like
terms
they
of
should have either
his
made-
morality. Right.
Yeah, like he should have been a little bit more evil or been more on the inclusivity side. Like
Right.
regardless of if it's historically accurate or not, it's just it makes his character muddy.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good description of it because
Yeah.
the problems that I'm having are they're not Hugh Jackman related. They are P.T. Barnum related.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about how his character is portrayed, and I
And his teeth.
and them dang teeth, and
Tafers.
I do wish that they had skewed on the side of him being more of a scumbag and then maybe learning at the end to be a good person or whatever. And I guess they kind of did that, but you're right. It wasn't enough. It was very middle of the road for me.
Because the character arc was like a molehill.
Well, because they
Yeah.
didn't make him bad enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's like, I love all these weirdos, and we're gonna do great money making things together, and now I'm gonna abandon them and go off with this hot redhead and not cheat on my wife.
And not cheat on my
I'm
wife.
gonna come back and we're gonna get this circus back together. And I said,
I'm going to
okay.
semi-disappoint my kids a little.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm only going to miss one of her dance recitals. Only one.
I still really liked the movie. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see, Luis. What are you gonna give this movie?
A 9.
9.
Wow.
I would definitely watch it again.
Big 9.
I'll watch it again, definitely too. I'm gonna give this musical an 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5. It's good, but if I'm thinking of musicals, there's definitely other ones I would rather watch. But is it good? Yes. Is it modern? Yes. Do I enjoy the music and looking at Hugh Jackman? Yeah. So I'll watch it again. Mm-hmm. Emily?
Mostly for Hugh Jackman. She'll put it on mute. She don't even care.
No,
Luis
I
will
wouldn't do
tune
that.
the vibrato on.
Mute. I wouldn't just put it on mute. Jeez. Gotta hear that vocals.
Don't know what I thought you were going to say, but
The vocals.
The vocals.
I'm gonna give it like an 8. It was good. I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite musical, Luis. But then again, you don't like Rent, so
What?
you don't have a
don't like
say
Rent.
in musicals.
Yeah.
Andre, I don't want to
I
hear
like
what you have
I
to
like
say.
Rent. I like Rent.
You made a face.
You bring the corset, I bring the cinches. That's not Rent.
That is
9
not Rent.
inches. What one is that?
I don't know.
That's Chicago. Anyway, sorry. Got it
Anywho.
mixed
Is
up.
that
Ow, my
Chicago?
elbow.
I just can't watch Rent over and over again. It's too much AIDS, you know? It's too much.
Okay, I never said you had to watch it over and over again. Luis couldn't even make it through like 30 minutes. He didn't even get to It's Only Us, It's Only This. Like, come on. Anywho, I'll give it an 8.
8. 8 out of 10.
We're still watching Sound of Music.
Good score. I'm going to give this movie, I think I'm going to give it a 7.5. I did like it. It's very good. I wonder if the music is going to age well. Because I don't know.
I'm not certain about that.
Yeah,
like they're good songs, but it's nothing where I was like, oh my gosh.
Right. And
But I do enjoy them.
And I was like, I was feeling myself noticing how modern they are, and maybe that's just because it's a period piece movie,
Sure.
and so every song like feels just a touch out of place because of its style and stuff like that. But I don't know. It feels like this mid 20-teens pop style of music isn't gonna necessarily last. But then again, just a couple weeks ago we were raving about 90s R&B and Cinderella. So I mean,
But think about
it's
this.
probably a similar style of thing.
But it's different though because I think it's different because again, Luis really likes this one and nobody else in the world does. Like Mamma Mia.
A lot of people
Luis
love
really-
Mamma Mia, but it's not my jam.
No, Luis really likes Mamma
Yeah?
Mia. But if you think about it in the same frame,
I'm a secret ABBA fan.
That's actually
like,
a really good point, Emily.
it's that one is contemporary,
Right.
like modern in movie
And storytelling,
did it.
but the
music.
music
Flipped
is
it.
older.
It is what is that 70s?
70s, yeah.
So it feels kind of off because it doesn't like the visuals don't go with the music.
Right. It doesn't perfectly match.
And I wonder if that's why sometimes the story wasn't that great either. But I wonder like if that has any
Yeah. I think that's probably true. I wasn't a fan of Mamma Mia either, so I mean I don't
Yeah,
don't
Mamma
know.
Mia is not my jam, but I know a lot of people who
And I
love
like
Mamma
ABBA
Mia.
songs, it's just I wasn't get out of here, Meryl. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm about to
smack
get
you.
kicked
I
off
didn't
the
like
podcast.
Amanda in it. She needed the
Amanda
go.
Seyfried.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Who was also in the Jean Valjean.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Les Mis, still my favorite musical because I'm that person.
Anywho,
Because you're a tortured soul.
Yeah, basically.
So that's been it for The Greatest Showman. Let us know what
Wait.
you thought of. Yes,
I just have to. What's your favorite musical?
my favorite musical.
Yeah. I mean,
It's probably
movie musical. Let's say movie musical.
I mean, it's wait. When you say movie musical,
Like it's been turned
into a movie.
Cinematic.
right.
Because like I love Wicked, but it's not a movie.
But I think my
you know?
favorite musicals are all like the '90s Renaissance Disney movies.
No, I don't mean
But
that.
that's not what you're
Emily,
talking about. Okay.
you know what I mean.
So
Yeah, like a musical that has been turned into a movie.
An actual
since the
musical that you can
2000s.
see on a stage.
it's probably like Sweeney Todd. I like that
Okay.
movie a lot.
I mean, I also really like Sweeney Todd. We watched that
Yeah.
not that long ago. What's yours?
Have you ever
Emily?
seen that, Lou?
It's got a lot of blood,
A lot of blood.
a
Yeah,
lot of murder.
it's kind of unreal.
Johnny
A
Depp.
lot of murder.
I like the Joanna song from that.
Helena Bellina
Helena Bellina.
and Snape. He's in it too.
Is he really? Who
Yeah,
is he?
he's the bad guy. He's got Joanna. I see you, Joanna.
Oh, now I need to watch it. I didn't know. What is his name? Poor man.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Alan.
Yeah.
I know we've been watching Harry Potter and it makes me so sad. What's yours, Emily? Don't say Grease. Blech.
Oh my God, no. Probably one of my least favorite musicals.
It's my mom's favorite.
Oh, I was.
It's a lot of
I
people's
was
favorites.
just gonna say.
My mom likes
Stop. I was just gonna say if you're a white person, it's your favorite.
Well,
Sorry,
apparently
Sonia.
it came out when my mom was in high school, and my aunt worked at the movie theater, so my mom went to go see Grease like 30 times at the movie
Yeah,
theater.
my mom likes the one that we tried to watch and we didn't even get 40 minutes in, The Wiz.
Oh, I like The Wiz.
We only got like 40 minutes in.
I mean, I've seen it before.
It was not.
The Wiz is not my favorite.
I wasn't enjoying it.
I mean, the music is cooler than The Wizard of Oz.
Move on down.
That's
on
fine,
down,
but
go
it
down
wasn't
the road.
cinematically appealing to me. What is yours?
Ease on down.
Do you know?
Ease
what
on
it is?
down, that's it.
I mean, I know you said you liked Rent, but
Oh, I really like Rent. The movie, though, the musical, like on stage, is better than the movie. I would say,
Moulin, we got
Huh?
Moulin Rouge.
I do love Phantom of the
Across
Opera,
the
but the movie was not
universe.
as good as the show.
Yeah, the movie is lackluster.
I really like Moulin Rouge,
Yeah, it's very.
but
good.
that's
Moulin Rouge is
that
good.
similarly is not on stage. That's just like this.
But
where
I
it's
would
a
count that.
standalone.
I would count that.
Oh,
Right.
Moulin Rouge is a wonderful movie.
Because Across the Universe is like that. People really like that
Ooh,
movie.
I like Across the Universe too.
I like that movie too.
This one's a little bit more musical to me, though. That one was more like,
Esoteric.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sticking the music in where they like to.
It's the 70s. The war's going on.
It's Les Mis for me, man. That's a
Oh.
killer.
That is a long movie.
I'll put it on right now.
Sorry.
Let's go.
Well, if you want to watch something long, we'll be watching The Sound of Music. So I will say, that is my first. So my first musical I've ever seen was Sound of Music.
Okay.
The first musical I ever heard was Phantom of the Opera because my mom had like the discography. I don't know what you call it, but like
What's the first musical you ever saw? Mine was Wicked. Well,
in
was
person?
it?
Like on
Yeah.
stage.
I'm pretty sure it was Wicked
Oh,
for
good
me.
God, I don't know.
My parents took us to see The Lion King. Probably when I was like 12, something like that.
No, I didn't.
It was pretty awesome.
Oh, it was the one with the plants.
What?
Oh, the plants. Little
Me.
shop.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors.
Horrors.
Yeah.
It was Little Shop of Horrors.
Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah, I saw Feed Me Seymour.
That movie's
first.
fantastic. That's pretty high up on my list too. I like Little Shop of Horrors.
I've never seen it.
I saw it at MJC, honestly, but it was still good.
Well, I think I've seen like other musicals, but like the first like big one I saw was Wicked, and
It
then
might have been
and then the
Hairspray.
Disney ones.
I don't know. I like Hairspray.
Hairspray is a really good movie. Okay, we're getting too much into this.
Sorry.
We are nerds. For our new listeners, Emily, Michelle, and Andre were in choir and musicals, and Luis was not.
I don't think anybody doubts that we were nerds, okay?
Where? Yeah. So.
Hamilton.
Luis learned what music was when he married me.
Yeah. Andre would.
Are you
we were
asleep
just-
over there? What's happening?
I disagree. I actually have a pretty good taste in music, just not musicals.
Was this your favorite musical, Luis?
Does it have to be in a like first in a theater?
No, I just want to know what your favorite musical is.
I forgot what it's called, but it's with this Italian comedian
Okay.
where he's
What?
like, it's kind of really sad. It's partly a musical
What?
where he's in the internment camp with his son, and he's like
Okay.
Do you
trying
know
to,
what he's talking about, Emily?
and he's trying to make it like, I think like something along the lines of Life is Beautiful or something, and he's like trying to hide the fact of where they're at to his son.
Okay.
Huh.
And it's a musical? Or does
There's
he
a
just
lot
sing
of
a
singing.
song?
There's a lot of singing in it.
But in my
So
favorite-
it's about...
So it's a musical. It was live action.
So it's about, like, is it the Nazi era? I'm
Yeah.
assuming you said internment camp.
It was live action.
Yeah.
So then it's a musical if they were singing, because I don't usually do that.
There is a movie called Life is Beautiful. It's a 1997 Italian comedy drama.
That might be it.
Yep. It takes place in a Nazi concentration camp.
Only Louise.
Oh my God! I thought you were making it up.
The film was partially inspired by the book In the End, I Beat Hitler by Rubino Romeo Salmoni. So,
Is it a musical?
I guess.
Jeez, Lou.
It said romantic comedy.
Well, there was romanticism comedy.
Italian comedy drama film directed and starring Roberto Bonini.
Oh, that's not romantic. That's just a drama comedy.
I'm just waiting for it to say music anywhere on this Wikipedia page.
Is there a soundtrack? It's not a
I
musical
like
if
that
there's no
it's.
soundtrack.
I like that it's a comedy.
Is there a soundtrack?
Hang on. There is a soundtrack. The original score to the film was composed by Nicola
Not a
Piovani,
score.
with the exception of a classical piece which figures prominently. The soundtrack album won the Academy Award for Best Original Dramatic Score and was nominated for a
That
Grammy.
doesn't count.
It lost.
Let Luis
lost to
have
A
it.
Bug's
It was
Life.
like some random 90s movie.
sure
We'll
there's-
let him have it.
There's a couple songs in there.
He remembered what it was called.
Life
He
is
did.
Beautiful, yeah.
Wow, Lou. I'm really surprised.
Nailed it.
Little shop.
May not seem like this, but I may have the most cultured movie taste in this podcast, besides maybe Andre,
Yeah, I actually
because
kind of
he
believe that.
probably has watched every single movie on the face of the
Yeah,
earth.
that's
Well,
true.
no.
I
If
give you
you've-
props.
I have
Every
not,
single
He
time I
hasn't seen
tell
The
you
Godfather,
about
but-
a movie,
I at least have a knowledge of
Like,
of
he knows.
most movies that you're talking
this
about.
man knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He's a movie buff.
You
You know
haven't
how many
watched
movies I
Godfather?
watched?
I've never seen
Dude,
The
we need to
Godfather.
watch in the summer, man.
We probably
You?
should. I
Have
know.
you ever seen Casino?
No, but
Oh.
I've seen Goodfellas, and
That's the okay.
I already think it's better. You know, I haven't seen.
You already think it's better?
But yeah, we will watch The Godfather because I need to.
By the way, for our listeners that were wondering what Andre's favorite movie is, when I was like, I can name Andre's favorite movies.
I don't know if anyone was wondering, but go
It's
ahead.
Batman.
Which one?
The old one.
Mm,
Well, it's Dark Knight,
thank you.
but you do like the old ones too.
I do, but they're not on my top. They're not on my favorite movies.
It's The Dark Knight.
It's The
his
Dark
favorite
Knight
movie.
and The Matrix. Those are tied.
those
for
are your
my-
tops,
for my
yeah.
favorite movie.
Ooh, The Matrix is good.
Yeah, it's quite good. Dodge this. Anyway, you guys, we are wrapping this up. Next week, in the next 2 weeks, our
I'm
next
so
episode,
excited.
Emily,
we are going to be
I
watching.
heard it's really good.
We're going to be watching
We're
something
so excited.
brand new. The movie Cruella is coming to theaters and Disney Plus on May 28th.
Another villain origin story.
Yes, so we're going to watch Emma Stone dye her hair white and black on both at the same time. It's going to be crazy.
Can you pause,
Yeah.
Luis? Can you tell us your first impression without watching it?
I kind of don't like it. Reminds me of The Great Gatsby, where like
Okay.
time pieces are shattered. It's like the Legends of Tomorrow were in the background messing up time.
Right, like because they're going to be speaking in modern platitudes and
It was steampunky almost, and I'm just
okay.
not
Oh, you don't
He
like?
doesn't like Steve.
Oh, you don't like steampunk?
not that
I mean,
much.
the 101 Dalmatians, that one always felt steampunk kind of to me, the live action one. And so this is giving me similar vibes where I'm about it.
Oh, we didn't.
Although I don't really like Emma Stone that much, so
We didn't do that one.
We
on
did the
podcast.
animated
Yeah.
101 Dalmatians. but
we
not
didn't do
not
the live action one, which
Okay.
is legit.
Well,
by
you
the
know,
way.
maybe we'll eventually do some kind of Emma Stone versus Glenn Close comparison or something like that. Because I remember liking the
That's the
live
one I
action
watched the most. I loved that one.
Yeah. So yeah, Cruella. You know, you can get it on Disney Plus. You can brave real life.
Brave the theater
and
if you
go out
want,
to
if
the
it's
theater.
open in your area.
Check it out. We'll be talking about
Get
it
that poppy corn.
in just a couple of short weeks. In the meantime, you can keep up with us on social media. We are at the Walt Vault Pod. Go there. Let us know what you thought about The Greatest Showman. Do you think it's your favorite musical? And should we have picked The Sound of Music? And when should we do The Sound of Music later this year?
Because we will be doing it.
Yeah.
We just don't know when.
We'll do it.
We won't hit you with 2 musicals in a row, okay?
That's right. If you want to talk to us further, you can send an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. If you want to support us, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that like and follow and share button. Let your mom know that this is a podcast you listen to. Tell somebody about us. That'll really help us out. Rate, review, do all that good stuff. We're also on Patreon. That's patreon.com/thewaltvault. Go there for a very small amount of money. You can help us keep the lights on in this dark vault.
Because we are the greatest show.
We are the
In
greatest.
your ears.
That's right. We're the best Disney podcast on earth. I'll say it loud and proud. All right. Come at us on the
No,
Disney
for a
podcast.
Disney podcast anymore, dude.
That's true.
We are a Disney
We're talking about a
podcast.
Fox movie right now.
It's on the Disney Plus.
They own it.
What happened was when Disney Plus became a thing, our lines got blurred.
It was pre that, but yes.
the $70 billion Fox deal is what really did it. Thanks, Disney. Anyway, thank you
Marvel,
guys
Star Wars,
for
Fox. It's
listening.
very confusing.
Yeah, we'll get to all of it
You
eventually.
want to hear those classics? Just go back to episode 1, okay?
That's right. Listen to our old episodes when we were bad at podcasting.
Oh.
Dude, we still bad at podcasting. Okay?
Yeah, we are. But people love us anyway.
Yes, thank you. So thank you guys so much for continuing to listen. We appreciate you. We love you. We will see you next time for some Cruella goodness. The vault is now closed.